Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 12th August 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing it is a highly expensive training course, but we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. To access the training lessons at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts, then you get access to this post. Some of you might be seeing Community tab. In that case, click on the tab. Okay, once you get this post, there is a YouTube playlist link available here that is having all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Now you can access all the training lessons. To access the first lesson, scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. And you can find all the training instructions at our Telegram channel. I am providing the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So from the video description, join at our Telegram channel. In the previous or old messages or even in the pinned messages, you can find all the training instructions. If you learn this course according to those training instructions, then you will become a very good independent trader in the coming days. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software's supply demand zone top-down analysis strategy builder. Okay, first I am going to generate finding the stocks near daily and 75 minutes time frame so that you can identify high liquidity zones, and using those high liquidity zones you can apply the high liquidity zone strategy you learned in lesson 21.3.1 video. Okay, for first daily time frame, stocks near to the daily demand zone, we got 9 stocks. And all of you please remember, I am giving you very few seconds time for each report. So I request you pause the video and study the report. And also, those who don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete the training lesson 21.1 video. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. PPL Pharma is having daily high liquidity demand zone. Next, SRF is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. And then Suzlon is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. And also Wipro is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So total 4 daily high liquidity demand zones, high priority, high liquidity demand zones identified from this list. And on these 4 zones, you can apply HLQ zone strategy that you learned in lesson 21.3 video. So this is stocks near daily demand zone. Next, for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity supply zone from this list. First one is NIFTY PSU Bank. It is not listed in F&O. I am ignoring it. Lupin is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. ONGC is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. TI India is not valid because it is a PRZ zone. So we have identified 2 daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone, we got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Now we don't have any 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, let us identify the stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone from this list. CNT is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. L&T is not valid, it is a pierced zone. That's it. We identified only one 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone from this list. So this is about high liquidity zone identification from daily and 75 minutes stocks near demand and supply zones list. Next, I will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. Starting with NIFTY, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. In any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zone. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. We already learned one time frame higher is up ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you very few seconds time. So please remember all these points for all the supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. The nearest demand zone for the current closing price is serial number 21. I'll put it in the middle of the page so that you can access equal number of demand and supply zones. Okay, next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All are supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. And the nearest demand zone to the current closing price is serial number 37. I'll adjust in the middle of the page. I will put it in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is about a NIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. I'm going back, changing the name to NIFTY Bank. That is nothing but BANKNIFTY. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next, generating a weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. The nearest demand zone for the current closing price is serial number 24. Let me adjust in the middle of the page, serial number 24. Okay. So this is about the Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So we have completed the generation of both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next I will generate a bullish, sideways bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trade reports. Starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame should be daily, entry zone should be demand zone. In bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup parameter, at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways. And third filter, PR zone only for daily time frame, I am not selecting, because any PR daily demand zones, you can apply PR zone strategies that you learned in lesson 27. I think lesson 28. Lesson 28 for PR zone strategies. Oh, we got so many stocks for bullish trade setup. So first 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 27 stocks are supporting sideways long trade setup for monthly income trade, and in all the stocks entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. I think some mistake I made here. This is something, sorry, please ignore this report. I selected a wrong value here. I have to select sideways long, not bullish. It should be sideways long. That is what I am wondering, so many stocks sideways. We got only 5 stocks. Sorry for the mistake. So this is sideways long. Here any mistake you can identify here. Earlier I have seen bullish, that's why I identified the mistake. Always look into the search strategy. Any doubt if you get, look into the search strategy. Any mistakes you can identify here. See entry time frame daily and entry zone demand zone. And zone achievement violated opposing zone. Odd enhancer score for sideways trade setup 11. See bullish bearish sideways trade setup at daily time frame. I have selected sideways long trade setup. Based on this zone violation, we are calculating the trend. And all the entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Some of these daily demand zones are pierced zones. Those zones you can't apply sideways trade setup, but you can use those zones for use any planning pierced zone strategy that you learned in lesson 28. Remaining stocks you can use it for sideways long trade setup. Okay, next, sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. Changes are daily supply zone and here sideways short. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. Entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. Okay, next, bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. The changes are daily demand zone. Here bullish, and one more change, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. Not 11, 12. So with these filters, we got 19 stocks. So first 17 stocks in the list supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Some of these zones are pierced zones. You can't use them for bullish trade setup, but you can use pierced zone strategy on these zones. Always look into the pierced column to find any pierced zones, especially in the demand zones, because entry time frame zone is demand zone. Okay, first 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 19 stocks we got supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Okay, but out of these 19, there could be some high probability trade setup supported zones might be available. You need to find them. For that, you need to apply different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. Okay, first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is the daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence. That means daily demand zone should overlap with weekly demand zone, so that daily demand zone might be having much stronger order flows because it is part of the weekly demand zone. Okay, so I'm applying a filter on these 19 stocks. I'm going back in the demand zone confluence parameter. This is the demand zone confluence parameter. In this parameter, I'm selecting the option daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. This filter will be applied on those 19 stocks. After applying the filter, we got 15 stocks. In all the 15 stocks, all these daily demand zones are overlapped with the weekly demand zone. That means daily demand zone part of the weekly demand zone. Is that good enough to identify high probability zones? Maybe we will add one more parameter to make it much stronger, more high probability. That is because the daily zone is overlapped with the weekly demand zone. So weekly trend is uptrend in all the stocks. Check ITF trend is uptrend. So we can apply EMA confluence on the weekly demand zone so that the overlapped daily demand zone might be having more strong institutional order flows. Let's verify. I'm going back in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame because daily is overlapped with weekly and weekly trend is also uptrend. So we are checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence or not. Let's apply this filter. Now the list is come down to 8 stocks. These 8 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success compared to the others. Provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, zones might be violated. See, some of the zones already tested multiple times. So some of these zones from your previous reports might have already gave you some trades. Can we use these tested zones? You can use provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. If there are no fine-tuned order flows, zones might be violated. That's why lesson 20 is very, very important. Okay. So this is about LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. That way, these 8 stocks might be having more strong institutional order flows. Okay, then we have one more scenario, that is LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence and later HTF EMA confluence. Let's identify that combination. I'm going back, removing ITF EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, all the three demand zones, that is the daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is daily and weekly demand zone, already enabled. Next, daily and monthly demand zone confluence and weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. By setting all the 3 filters, daily, weekly, monthly demand zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. In all the 4 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is uptrend in all the stocks except 4th one. 4th one sideways, ignore this. In the remaining 3, let us verify any of the monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence with the trend is uptrend. So that the overlapped daily demand zones in that monthly might be having even more stronger institutional order flows. Let us verify. In the EMA at monthly, because daily and weekly together part of the monthly demand zone. So we are checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA. When you are checking EMA confluence, trend should not be sideways. One stock is having sideways trend. We don't want that stock. That's why in the trend on the monthly, I'm checking only uptrend. I don't want sideways. Because it is uptrend, because it is bullish trade setup. Let's verify. We got one stock. That way, this daily demand zone is having more strong institutional order flows. Might be having. But is it going to work again? Already tested 7 times. It is all depending on lesson 20 checklist items. If lesson 20 checklist items identifies fine-tuned zones without any test, probably you may get another trade opportunity. Otherwise, zone might be violated. So this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, let us look into bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So entry time frame daily, entry zone should be supply zone, and also bullish or bearish at daily. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got only 3 stocks. In all the 3, these daily supply zones are supporting a bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are these daily supply zones. Out of these 3 daily supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? Let's verify. First filter is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So in the supply zone confluence parameter, I am enabling the filter daily supply zone and weekly supply zone confluence. By applying this filter on the 3 stocks, we got 2 stocks. Out of 3, 2 are filtered. In both these stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is a downtrend. So let's further filter if any weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Weekly supply zone with weekly, because daily is overlapped with weekly. We are checking weekly supply zone with weekly EMA. One stock is filtered. That way this zone is having strong institutional order flow, the higher chances to get success. Maybe that is the reason why already it gave you 3 trades. From the previous reports, some of you would have already got these trades. But can we take this trade further? That is all depending on lesson 20 checklist items. If lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied, you can plan another trade. Otherwise, there are higher chances zone might be violated. Okay, next combination is LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence and HTF EMA confluence. So I am removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, supply zone confluence, not demand zone, supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is daily and weekly supply zone, already enabled. Next, daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend, EMA confluence, we don't verify because it won't give any additional advantage. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So we have completed monthly income trade reports. Next, I will generate weekly income trade reports. For weekly income trade, entry time frame is 75 minutes. Sideways long, entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish or sideways at 75 minutes, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways. And also, third filter I am adding, that is 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, in this parameter, at entry time frame 75 minutes, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With this, all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Now we got three stocks. These three stocks are supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade. For weekly income trade, entry time frame is 75 minutes demand zone. We got three zones. Sideways long trade setup. Next, sideways short trade setup. The changes are 75 minute supply zone and here sideways short. Let's filter. We got two stocks. Entry time frame zones are these 75 minute supply zones. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. The changes are 75 minutes demand zone and here bullish. And one more change, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. Bullish trade setup for weekly income trade and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zone. So total we got 8 75 minutes demand zones. And none of these demand zones are pierced. Only supply zones can be pierced but not demand zones. Because entry time frame zone should not be pierced. Okay, out of these 8 75 minutes demand zones, there could be some more high probability trade setup supported zones might be available. We need to identify. So let us identify based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence. Filters or strategies you learned in lesson 27. Let us apply. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. LTF is 75, ITF is daily. So 75 and daily demand zone confluence. We are applying this filter on those 8 stocks. After applying, we got 5 stocks. In all the 5 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And also daily trend is uptrend in all the stocks because 75 minutes demand zone overlapped with daily demand zone. Let us further filter if any daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. So I am going back, applying EMA filter at daily time frame because 75 minutes demand zone overlapped with daily demand zone. So we are checking daily demand zone having daily EMA or not because daily trend is uptrend. So we got 2 stocks. That way these 2 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise zones might be violated. Okay, one more filter, LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. After that HTF EMA confluence. Let us verify that combination also. Removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled, 75 and daily. Next 75 and weekly demand zone confluence, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones overlapped with the daily demand zone, both together again overlapped with the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up in only one stock. Let's verify if this stock is having any weekly EMA confluence. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA and also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So that one stock is filtered. That way this 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise zone might be violated. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish at 75, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. And also 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Now all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes supply zone. Let's filter. We got 9 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zone. We got total 9 75 minute supply zone supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Out of these 9 75 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability trade setup supported supply zones might be available. We need to find them. How to find? So let us use different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. First strategy is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. By applying this filter on those 9 stocks, we got 8 stocks. In all the 8 stocks, all these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And also daily trend, ITF trend is downtrend in all the stocks. Because daily trend is downtrend and 75 minute supply zone overlapped with daily supply zone, we can further filter based on daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Let's verify. Daily supply zone with daily EMA, because 75 minute supply zone overlapped inside the daily supply zone. That's a daily supply zone having daily EMA we are checking because daily trend is downtrend. So we got 5 stocks, and all these 5 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. See, some of these zones are already tested and they gave you trades. Maybe from the previous reports they might have given you. But can we still use these tested zones? You can use provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Even though they are all high probability trade setup supported zones, lesson 20 checklist items must satisfy. Otherwise there are higher chances these zones might be violated. So you need to look into those zones. Okay. This is the first combination. Next one is LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. Let's filter. So I am removing this ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. The first filter is already enabled, 75 and daily. Next 75 and weekly supply zone confluence, daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with the daily supply zone, both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. But weekly trend is sideways. Sideways trend, EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So we are not further filtering. So this is about the weekly income trade, bearish trade setup. So we have completed all the weekly income trade reports. Next, I will generate daily income trade reports. Okay, for daily income trade, entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone for sideways long trade setup, and also bullish bearish sideways trade setup at entry time frame 15 minutes. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways. And also third filter, 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at entry time frame 15 minutes, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Which zone? 15 minutes demand zone, because all the 3 filters are applied on the 15 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. Sideways long trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zone. Always remember, always lesson 20 checklist items you should apply. Okay, next. Sideways short trade setup. sideways, short trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes supply zone, and also here sideways short. We got 4 stocks. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. And the next one is a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes demand zone. And here bullish or bearish, I am selecting bullish. And third change, minimum odd and enhanced score should be 12. By applying all the filters on the 15 minutes demand zone, we got 7 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So total we got 7 15 minutes demand zone. Out of these 7, there could be some high probability trade setup supported 15 minutes demand zones might be available. We need to identify them. So first, for that we have to apply different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. So the first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter and applying this filter on all those stocks. We got 5 stocks. In all the 5 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And also 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all the stocks. We can further filter based on the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame. I am selecting 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. We got 2 stocks. That way these two 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise there are higher chances the zones might be violated. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in only one stock. Let us verify this daily demand zone having daily EMA. In that case, the overlapped 15 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success if this stock is filtered. Let's verify. The EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am checking daily demand zone having daily EMA or not. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Let's verify. We don't have any stocks. So there is no high probability trade setup in this combination. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is daily. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. And bullish or bearish at 15 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. And also 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So by applying the filters, we got 11 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. So total we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11 15 minute supply zone, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies learned in lesson 27. Okay, first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Let us apply on these 11 stocks. In the supply zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. And applying this filter on the 11 stocks, we got 9 stocks. In all these 9 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minutes supply zone. And also 75 minutes trend, ITF trend is down in all the stocks. We can further filter based on 75 minutes supply zone having daily EMA confluence. 75 minutes supply zone with daily EMA, because 75 minutes trend is downtrend. We got 3 stocks. That way these 3 15 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. See, that is the reason why already some of these stocks are already tested. Previous reports, you might have already got these opportunities. And still, are we going to get opportunities in these stocks? That is all depending on lesson 20 checklist items. If lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied, you can still plan trades on these tested zones. Otherwise, higher chances zones will be violated. Even the non-tested zone also lesson 20 checklist items should satisfy. Otherwise, zone might be violated. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And one more filter is also there. That is LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence and HTF EMA confluence. Let's verify. Removing EMA filter, ITF specific. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily supply zone confluence, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones overlapped with 75 minute supply zone, both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in only 2 stocks. Let's verify in these 2 stocks any daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. We don't have any stocks. Okay. Next, let us look into, we have completed daily income trade reports. Next, we will generate hourly income trade reports. So, entry time frame, 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone for sideways long. Here bullish or bearish or sideways at 5 minutes. I am selecting sideways long, zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 11, and also 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 2 stocks. Sideways long trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Next, sideways short trade setup, the changes are 5 minutes supply zone, and here sideways short. We got 5 stocks. Sideways short trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes supply zones. Next, bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Changes are 5 minutes demand zone. Here bullish, and also minimum odd and enhanced score should be 12. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Out of these 6, any high probability trade setup zones, different zone confluence strategies land in lesson 27. Let us apply zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies. First, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. We got 5 stocks. 5 minute zones overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. and 15 minutes trend is uptrend. Let us further filter for EMA Confluence on 15 minutes demand zone. 15 minutes demand zone with daily EMA Confluence. We got one stock. That way this 5 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. Already it is tested once. But is it going to work again? It is depending on less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise zone might be violated. Okay, next. LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone Confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. Demand zone Confluence, 3 filters, 5 minutes and 15 minutes enabled, 5 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In all the 3 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone, both together overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. 75 minutes trend is up in 2 stocks. Let's verify any of these 2 stocks. 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA Confluence. And also trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Both these stocks having uptrend are filtered. That way these 5 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise there are higher chances zones might be violated. This is for hourly income trade bullish trade setup. Next, hourly income trade bearish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 12, and also 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 7 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. So total we got 7 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 7 5 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability trade setup supported 5 minute supply zones might be available. We need to identify them. Based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies, land in lesson 27. First strategy, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, and then ITF EMA confluence. Okay, first I will filter based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. By enabling this filter, we got only 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And also 15 minutes trend is downtrend. Let's verify EMA confluence on 15 minute supply zone. 15 minute supply zone with daily EMA. We don't have any high probability on this filter, on this combination. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removed ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got only 1 stock. So this 5 minute supply zone overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is downtrend. Let's further filter any 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence. So by enabling the filter, we did not get. So that means we don't have any high probability trade setup supported supply zones. So with this we have completed all the income trade report generations. Next, I will generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for all the time frames except daily and 75 minutes because they are already generated in the beginning of the report. Okay, starting with the yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame, half yearly. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Okay, next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near to the quarterly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone. We got 1 stock. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. First 22 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks we got. Let's further filter based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now we got 14 stocks. Current price closed in these 14 quarterly demand zones, and those quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Okay, next, price closed inside the quarterly supply zones. We got 9 stocks. Let us further filter based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 3 stocks. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near to the monthly demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 18 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 43 stocks are filtered. Out of these 43, how many of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let's verify. Monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence, and also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is reduced. First 19 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 23 stocks are filtered. Price closed inside these monthly demand zones, and these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next, price closed inside the monthly supply zones. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 22 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zones having monthly EMA confluence. Monthly supply zone with monthly EMA confluence, and also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 6 stocks. Current price closed in these 6 monthly supply zones. Those monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence. So this is about monthly time frame. The next time frame is weekly. Stocks near to the weekly demand zone. We got 12 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 19 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 18 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 62 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zones having weekly EMA confluence. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence, and also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, list is reduced, but still good number of stocks are there. First 17 stocks in the list. We have NIFTY, NIFTY Bank, NIFTY Mid Cap Select, all are here. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. Total 29 stocks are filtered out of 62. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 28 stocks are filtered. Out of these 28, how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence? Let's verify. The EMA confluence at a weekly time frame. I'm checking weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 9 stocks. These 9 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, and also current price closed inside those weekly supply zones. So this is about weekly time frame. The next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 17 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, price close stocks near to the 125 minute supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame 75 minutes already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone. We got 12 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. And in the final report, I'm generating stop buffers based on daily ATR. So first 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.